All right, excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone, for the virtual Web Center booth. Again, following the incredible online Market America International Convention that just took place last weekend. Hopefully, many of you joined us yesterday, or we'll get the recording out where we had Aaron Lizzo kind of going over an Oasis demonstration and showing all of us how easy it is to build a website or manage a client's website, or even participate in our digital marketing suites through explorema.com to help you brand your Market America unfranchised business. And today we have another guest, and we are so privileged to have him on with us today. He was actually introduced at our Web Center breakout last Friday night, and we were able to capture his attention again today. And we're just going to have a chat with Adam Ferris, our technology partner here, who will be able to work with us and talk about why we are the best game in town, so to speak. We're going to have a chance to, talk about why Oasis really makes a difference, especially right now as we lead into what I think is probably the most relevant time to be talking about digital marketing. Not only are we going into the fourth quarter, as we know, it's the retail season of the year. More money will be spent online than ever before in world history. I want you to think about that again. More money will be spent online than ever before in world history this year, quarter four. So it's important not only for you as a Web Center owner, but also for your clients. And we're going to talk about some tools and ways that we can help clients get online fast and make the most of their online efforts. So Adam Ferris, welcome. Great to see you again.
Great to be here, Jason. Really appreciate your time. Thanks everybody for joining.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people that are anxious to hear from you and learn a little bit more, but they'll watch the recording session, of course. But Adam, I just want to, maybe kind of lead the floor over to you, listening to how I just said that. We're coming into a big season, so to speak, the fourth quarter, the end of the year, in the middle of a pandemic. Just talk to us a little bit about the state of digital marketing, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, I think we touched on this in our session on Friday a little bit. We've just seen what was already happening in the world with the acceleration of small and mid-sized companies getting online has, in this new age where we're moving from the physical to the virtual, it's really just accelerated all of these companies to get online. They need to be found. They need to engage with leads and their customers. And they need to be able to control their brand online and turn those site visitors into paying customers so they can keep them and remarket to them. So what's really fascinating is we saw some really steady growth, especially in the e-commerce space before. It was just slowly kind of growing. I think 17% year over year is the stat that you threw out there, Jason. We saw, that's a commonly known stat. What we saw, which was really fascinating, was from March to April, the amount that was transacted through the sites, these e-commerce sites, almost doubled. And since then, month over month, it's grown by about 15%. That's called gross merchandise value. That's crazy. What that means is consumers are now forced to buy online, but I think they're thriving in buying online. And small and mid-sized companies need to get online to be and meet those consumers where they expect to be met with a world-class product. And that's happening right now, and we should be a part of it. There's still greenfield opportunities here to go provide your clients with the best-in-class online presence and an e-commerce platform. We still see 50% of small businesses in the US alone don't have a website. So there's tons of opportunity to make it easy for them to get online with a best-in-class product so they can meet their leads and customers and consumers where they expect to be met. And that's the trend that we see.
I think that's great. Our president, Mark Ashley, spoke on Friday as well, and he was talking about how Market America and Shop.com have really thrived through this pandemic, where a lot of companies are struggling. We are growing as well. And it really comes down to the fact that as a product broker, we don't manufacture their products. We simply help other companies get their products to market. We've got a great online marketplace. If anything, our struggle was, sourcing and supplying product, but then getting it to the customer wasn't a problem. But it was interesting. What he said was, for most people that want to find a way, an enterprise level way to get online, it's far too costly. It's too costly for a small business owner or an individual to play in that big league. The amount of money that they need, not only in their website, in their responsive nature, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, paid advertising, social media, upkeep, and e-commerce, transactional rates, all of this becomes problematic. But I think we've got a great solution when it comes to MA Web Centers and Oasis. Talk to us a little bit about how we can get clients up online quickly, effectively, and really have a strong presence through what we offer.
Yeah, great questions. You said a lot there. I'll try to unpack it. I love to cook at home. I'm a home cook. It doesn't mean I should go to open my own restaurant. It's very, very overwhelming. How can Oasis really help, our web center owners and their clients to get online quickly with the most innovative product? I think it all starts with innovation, and I'll dive into deeply about, SEO optimization and getting online quickly in a very intuitive way. But I think it all starts with innovation, and we really think about Oasis as a website builder, not built only for today, but also advancing toward the future. On Friday's session, I talked about, a website, I really equate it to like the fashion industry. What is in vogue now might not be in vogue in 6 months or in a year. And so it really forces us to innovate. And it's our promise to our web center owners and their clients that our goal is to offer the most powerful website builder for our partners. And to do this, we have to evolve. We're forced to evolve, and we have to enhance on our platform. So what we do is we have around 70 full-time developers that are dedicated to innovation. They're dedicated to constantly evolving and iterating on the platform and releasing new features. And they do that every single week. So we have a weekly, what's called a sprint cycle. We're releasing new features. These features are designed to keep our customers and our partners' websites up to date and in vogue, but also designed to captivate site visitors and allow them to convert on a website. So we're always thinking about conversion. We take pride in listening to our partners and their clients, and we take that very seriously to build that conduit so we know what they need in order to have an effective online presence to engage their customers and site visitors. And we incorporate that into the product roadmap. And that's our promise here at Oasis. There's a part of the big elephant in the room is Google, and we always need to keep Google top of mind. We try to stay as proactive as possible. It's a reactive game because Google doesn't release their secret sauce, but we try to stay as proactive as possible. And things that we pay attention to here at Oasis, which will have real impact for you and your clients, will be things like page speed. How quickly does the site load? That's going to be a huge factor. And I think will really resonate with the clients that you talk to on the field, which is your site needs to load quickly. Otherwise, you will lose, your site visitors will bounce. They'll go elsewhere. And so we pay attention to that. And that's a core tenet of our innovation. I think lastly, we could break down innovation into 3 core tenets: speed, smart, powerful. If we focus on these 3 core tenets, this means our promise is that Oasis will allow you and your customers to build sites quicker, that load faster, so that site visitors are engaged and captivated and convert into paying customers. That's the bottom line. I could keep going about SEO and your e-commerce module, but maybe you want to drive that and focus me.
Yeah, I mean, I love what you just said. That was, speed, smart, and powerful, right? I love it. And for our web center owners, and for those of you that want to try and get that content and that message to your end user, your client, your candidate, we're going to start focusing a lot of our blog efforts after this innovative piece. So we're going to really kind of rehash the blog, mawebcenters.com. You know, we have our own internal blog for you as Web Center owners, and that's found on blog.unfranchise.com. But that's really for you as an franchise owner. But you want these golden nuggets, like Adam just mentioned. You want this as a resource, some credibility when you're going to your candidate to tell them why Oasis is the best choice. So we're going to start repurposing some of this content and putting it on our MA Web Centers blog. And I think that's going to be impactful for all of us. So thank you for that, Adam. You talk about getting, you know, page speed, right? You talk about page speed. You know, how does maybe responsiveness tie into, you know, this conversation as well?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. You know, I think it varies country by country. In the US alone, I think over 60 to 65% of consumers are browsing the web from their mobile devices. And how does responsiveness play into that? Well, we really have to think about the mobile experience first when we design a website. We usually design a website on using an external monitor on a desktop computer because we can see the whole website. It's easier to design the website there, but we really have to think about the mobile consumer, the mobile site visitor, how they search for products and brands and how they convert. And that just means thinking about making buttons bigger, more tappable, maybe surfacing calls to action. What I mean by that are click to call buttons, which would be a more relevant call to action on the mobile version versus maybe a web form or something like that. And with Oasis, what's really cool with our responsive platform is that we can dynamically serve up a different call to action for a mobile version of the site versus a desktop site. And Google really likes that in search ranking, that plays with SEO. But that responsiveness factor, where you can actually surface different calls to action, you're putting yourself in the mindset of what that consumer wants to see from that device type. And that's really important. Secondly, you mentioned page speed. This is critical. We are walking around, we're browsing the web on our mobile devices, and we're becoming more and more patient as, you know, as a society. And that's just a fact. And so what Google throws out there is that a site needs to load in about 3 seconds or less. Otherwise, you lose kind of that captive audience and they start to leave your website. That's kind of the magic number they throw out there. What we see is that for every second a site takes to load, above and beyond, you know, 3-ish seconds, conversion rates, meaning less click to calls, less phone calls, less form fills, less purchases, those conversion rates drop by around 7 to 11%. And for small and mid-sized companies that don't get tons of traffic like big box retailers, this is critical. We need to capitalize on every single site visitor that comes to the website. And how do you do that? You do that with the experience and with the load time. And that's what Oasis has already built into the product, which is really, really cool. To put this into perspective, you know, Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, I think said at the beginning of last year, if he could reduce Amazon.com's site load time by 1 second, it would have represented $1 billion, billion with a B, in revenue to Amazon.com. That means site speed equals revenue. And this is something that I think will resonate with a non-digital native, with somebody who's trying to get online. Site speed equals revenue. That's really important. Speed equals revenue in today's day and age, and Oasis has you covered in terms of speed. Putting that a little bit more in perspective with some more data, Google has a grading system for speed. Only 2% of all websites on the web score 100 out of 100, you know, and they probably have full-time, you know, web developers optimizing constantly for page speed. Only 10% of websites on the web score 70% or higher. Google's really made a high benchmark, and they're pushing the web forward because of what the consumers demand. What's really amazing with Oasis is that all sites will rank 70 or above. They'll be in that top 10%, and many of those sites will rank in the 80s and low 90s, which are going to be in the top 5%. So we really take this seriously, and that's our promise to you and to your customers and their customers.
There's so much there, and there's
Yeah.
so many different paths to shoot off on that conversation.
Yeah.
Um, for one, we just talk about just how Oasis is built for SEO, and it's not even talking about, the keywords and meta tags and page titles and page descriptions. It's just the platform itself, and really that Google's mobile first algorithm, and now it's really focused on that, about page speed. There's something that I think a lot of people aren't familiar with, and maybe you can just throw in a comment or two about what does it mean when we talk about lazy load? And I think that affects page speed, and I think a lot of web center owners need to know that.
I think that's what I do on the weekend when I wake up. Lazy loading. This is a really important thing. So when we talk about page speed and SEO and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes with Oasis, and a lot of innovation that happens behind the scenes. What we might realize is that, or what we don't realize is that when we're browsing a website on our mobile device, and as we're scrolling down the page with a thumb, or on our laptops as we're scrolling down the page, sometimes images have to preload before we even do that, and that really slows down that site load time. What we've done at Oasis is implement what's called lazy loading of images. So we only load those images as you're scrolling down the page. And this is critical for any photo gallery to go market services or a portfolio. It's critical for product stores where you actually, loading up plenty of images of products. What we're trying to do is lazy load those images as you're scrolling down the page and only load them up, so it doesn't bog down the performance of that website, and we keep that site visitor captivated. That's the really critical thing, keeping them engaged with that site content, and that's one of the many features that factors into SEO and page speed. I'm happy to keep going here.
No, I love it. I mean, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, and I know as we talk about loading files on your desktop site, those file sizes might be too large in terms of the smartphone or mobile devices. So, there's even things happening where the file size is kind of compressed for different versions of the site. I mean, it's brilliant what we have here. So I know that we could go on,
I'll speak to that. If you upload a really high resolution image to Oasis, what we're going to do behind the scenes is compress the image as best as we can. Sometimes it's not the magic bullet, but we're doing the best we can. We even compress it and we create 5 different copies of that. And what we're doing with our hosting environment is we're serving up a thumbnail image for the mobile device and a larger, kind of wider format image for the desktop experience. This is the end user, the site visitor won't even notice the difference. It really plays into page speed and really trying to optimize to load that site quickly for that device type. And that's the innovation that happens behind the scenes that really plays well with SEO and customer experience at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think most of our clients, they don't need to know all of this. It's going to be well beyond them, but it's important for our web center owners to realize the why behind it. So
Yep.
that if they say, hey, we've got great, site load speed, it's built for SEO. If they do get that client or candidate that says, well, why or how, we've got a couple, arrows in our quiver that we can come up with, and we have the tools and the resources. But this is more to empower the web center owners to understand that it's not us just saying, oh, it's built for SEO, right? Yeah. You really are backing it, and I think that's important. Let's take a shift now and talk a little bit more about e-commerce, because we are coming into this powerful time of the year. Talk to us about how a client can get online e-commerce enabled quickly.
Yeah, that's great. Good segue. Q4, this is going to be just a pivotal time, like you said, on our history in terms of online purchases. The percentage of a retail business that's happening online, it's unbelievable. With Oasis, a client can get up and running really quickly on the e-commerce builder, on Oasis's e-commerce builder. And the reason why, the way we do this is we've created a very intuitive setup wizard for a non-technical user. It really guides the user step by step on the logical way to get up products loaded into the store, setting up the product category pages, setting up pricing in an intuitive way. The tax rules are automatically calculated by region. There's automatic shipping providers just totally integrated in. And there's a large amount of payment gateways. And I know, Jason, you wanted to talk about that. One other quick thing here is there's advanced search functionality on the e-commerce store so that the customer experience is really intuitive. You can find the products you're looking for and convert. And most importantly, for the web center owners and your clients, is that they're going to be able to market their products through sales channels like Google and Facebook and Instagram with a couple clicks of the button. And that's directly from Oasis's e-commerce module. So all of these features in concert are designed to get a client up and running really quickly in a very intuitive way, to manage that storefront on an ongoing basis, to go market those products. And they're designed for discoverability and, most importantly, conversion, which is going to be great.
Yeah, it's outstanding. You know, we've had this partnership for not that long, but I'll tell you, Adam, I've already built out 11 personal customer sites, e-commerce catalogs, plus all of our digital marketing sites that we've got for the company. Without the tools that are available, there's no way that I would be able to do that. But I'm really excited about the e-commerce because there's even SEO components to the e-commerce dashboard as well for those clients to help their product get found, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are all, the SEO features are all kind of integrated. Erin, do you have any that come top of mind that I already haven't mentioned?
No, I think you've been pretty comprehensive, but as you said, we have all those SEO components really baked into the store, the same as we do into the platform and into each individual website.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. I think ease of use is important because I think a lot of clients are really, let's say they're ignorant and they're a little bit hesitant. They're scared of e-commerce. They're afraid that they might break something, or what happens if I load something on my product catalog and it doesn't work, or the pricing is wrong. The management of the store is very easy, which I love. So the dashboard is very user-friendly as well, even for that non-technical person, like you had mentioned, Adam. But one thing I want to make sure Erin and Adam and everyone else knows is that we have one of our merchant service providers is iTransact here in the US. And they've been a partner of ours for a very, very long time. And as an unfranchised owner, you can have your own iTransact account for your own merchant services for your own clients. It's tied directly into your own shop.com site. So there's a lot of added benefit there. But what's interesting is that their company Payrock is already integrated into our e-commerce solution. And what that means is that we can offer iTransact to our website clients, and we're going to earn addition commissions based on the transaction rates that go through iTransact. So if you have those questions, let us know. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to actually, when you're looking at the payment gateway option, it's actually under Payrock. So Payroc, Payrock. And then once you use them as the payment gateway, the screen opens up and it says iTransact, and you can literally just copy and paste the API username and the password information, the password key, the API key. So it can be integrated very quickly with one of our partners. Even though there's plenty of other gateways, it's nice to know that it's already integrated with one of our featured partners as well. So I want to let you guys know that too.
That's fantastic, Jason. Now's the time to take advantage of that. As you mentioned, we're going into Q4, the holiday season. And then just thinking about those stats that we see with that gross merchandise value, the amount of transactions that are happening through e-commerce sites in general are just really, really, really ballooning. It's really amazing. So now's the time to take advantage of that.
Certainly. And we want to help your clients as well. So it's not currently integrated, but it is in development. But for your customers that want to be a shop.com partner, right? So our shop.com partner program, we are in the process of getting that integrated. We're trying to buckle that down so that if they apply to be a shop.com partner, we'll get their credentials from shop.com, and we can make sure that we can tie the Oasis e-commerce right into that shop.com partnership. So we're always looking to the future, like Adam said, but also at shop.com side, we're always trying to see what we can do best. Adam, any maybe final thoughts on where we're headed, maybe after Q4, any innovation or things that really come to mind for you that are important for our web center owners?
Yeah, I think after Q4, it's going to be really important to further invest in SEO directly in the user interface, which is the editor, to make it really intuitive for your clients to actually make sure they add things like alt tags and images so the browsers know to index them, so those products can get found, so customers can convert on those products, and we'll be further investing in more intuitive SEO for the non-digital marketer in the user interface, which I get really excited about. And the other one will be things like local business schema. This is things that will help with discoverability and searchability. Think about local business schemas as a browser as being able to browse and find structured business information, name, address, phone number, descriptions, things that you see like in Yelp directories and stuff like that, but incorporating that into the site so browsers can better index your client's sites. That's going to be really, really impactful to be found and to control your small business data across all the web, which is great. So those are the two biggest things. And then ongoing investments in page speed and more advancements in the more flexibility in the e-commerce module, I think are areas that will really impact us and us all. And I think I get really excited about.
Yeah, I'm certainly excited. I thank you and Aaron for your time,
Yeah.
and looking forward to more of these sessions. I know you and I could probably, volley this back and forth for at least another hour on different things because we get really excited about it. There is one quick chat that came in, and maybe you can speak to it as a more broad question. But Ricky's asking, what industry sees the best response from Oasis? Have you seen a category that has been really successful using the builder?
Aaron, have you seen a category that's...
So yeah, I saw that question come in. I think that really we can say in general, SMBs have really benefited in general. I don't know that there's a specific category, but the small to mid-sized businesses who can really get online quickly. Maybe they don't already have a site, maybe they have a very outdated site, but everything that you both have mentioned today with really optimizing SEO, getting found online, and then converting those clients. I think that's really where we're at, and that's what we're here for.
Aaron, I'm actually glad you brought that up. I talked about a stat where 50% of small businesses in the United States alone don't have websites, but there are plenty of websites that underperform, that don't meet the expectations of consumers. Now is the perfect time to go to those small businesses and mid-sized businesses and educate them about Oasis and the optimizations we built into the platform together, and get them onto a better performing site that meets the expectations of the modern consumer. We don't only have to target small and mid-sized companies that don't have a website. Plenty of greenfield opportunities there to get them on a modern platform.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I know I've got Shwen here asking about political sites and if there's some best practices. We could do a whole session on best practices. I think that might be something we talk about in terms of different categories. Shwen, I'll answer that question in our page in terms of some ideas, a landing page with a video and a pop-up and a web form, capture their email. You can get an email campaign, social media integration. So there's some things that we could talk about, but more specifically, we'll do more category specific training. But the idea is that Oasis was built for our target client, which is the SMB, like Aaron just said. And all the different layouts that are already pre-designed have the tools and features that can help those specific businesses, which I love. So we don't have to think about how to build it from scratch. The components are already there. And I know, Adam, maybe you can tell us that you're probably always adding more sections and more templates and things like that, right?
Yeah, I forget what the number is. I know we already have over 100 plus responsive templates. They're all optimized for SEO, and what we mean by that out of the gate is the structure is already there, so that the browsers can crawl the page and the content and understand it, interpret it, and index it. And that's what you want. You want to make it simple and easy to understand. We're always investing in responsive templates. We're releasing 2 to 3 a month. We're always investing in sections, which are rows or blocks of content that you can add to iterate on a core design. And those are kind of verticalized by industry. They're also kind of categorized by the different types of pages you see on a typical website, like About Us, Contact Us, Services, Portfolio, Meet the Team. These are areas that rows or blocks of content you can add in and really either delight your customers or use it as a sales aid to convert a customer, refer a customer.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, we're looking to a really bright future, and we haven't even scratched the scratch of the surface yet, right? And that's what makes it really exciting. This is really just our official launch and the partnership, and we really appreciate your investment in time and energy with us over the past couple days, and certainly in the future. So thank you again. For Web Center owners that have been joining us, I want to let you know that tomorrow we've got our project manager of the design center, design team, Gabby, that you guys all know and love. She'll be on talking about our design wizard and design process. And then we'll also have product specialists on Thursday, and then Friday will be customer care. So stay tuned. Thursday and Friday, well, I guess this is Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time on the same Zoom link. We will record all the sessions, and there'll be plenty more to come. Stay tuned to the blog. But my final call to action, Adam mentioned education, right? Education and training is so important for you as well. So we do have our upcoming All-Star Web Center Training 101, which will be on October 3rd. You can check your GMTSS schedule for that. But then after that, we've got a 12-week session, and we're going to have Aaron and Adam, although they don't know it yet, but Adam and Aaron and our Web Center trainers will be joining us over the course of a 12-week period for our half marathon contest, right? So it's a sales contest and 12-week webinar series, each and every week with a new topic, as well as some accountability. And it's really how you can get the best start as a Web Center owner. So you can get information about that on the Web Center landing page on our back office. But Aaron and Adam, any final words? I think you guys did a great job.
I'm just looking forward to continuing with the partnership and all growing together. So thank you for your time for those that joined, and we look forward to growing together and converting more customers together.
Yeah, fantastic. How about you, Aaron?
I was going to say exactly what Adam said. We really appreciate the partnership, and thank you so much for inviting us here. It's been such a pleasure to, go through the platform and talk a little bit about strategy as well. And we know that you guys are off to a good start.
Very good. Well, I appreciate it, and hope you all enjoyed it. We will have a replay, and make sure you stay tuned and plug into the rest of our sessions for this week. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Aaron.
you.
Take care.